Hello everyone, my name is Alex Silva and you're watching Image Weekly, the home of image creators. Today I wanted to present you a video that it's a bit of a second part from the previous one. This question about what camera should I buy does not apply only to amateur photographers, it turns out. Some of the people that ask me about the next camera to buy are also a bit more experienced people, more experienced photographers. So let's call them enthusiasts. But also I will make another video about more seasoned professionals, probably professionals that want to shoot more, or they want to, let's say, upgrade their cameras. So in the particular case of an enthusiast, let's focus on them on this video. And well, these people have certain characteristics, and they also have certain requirements and constraints. Let's see. Usually an enthusiast, in terms of this video, let's define somebody that is a bit more experienced than an amateur, probably has a couple of years of experience, and shoots more frequently. That's the one big difference. Shoots more frequently. The amateur probably shot twice a month. The enthusiast probably shoots every week. Not every day, but probably every week. And he probably gets paid sometimes. So that's when you get paid and you probably have a bit of a pressure to get a more rugged camera, something that can handle a bit more of a rough handling and handling anyway. But you get the idea. But more rugged camera, and most people do not start at this level, so they probably already have some lenses or some other accessories, and they want to spend some money. Of course, they do have a budget, they have some limitations, but this limitation in budget applies to a camera body only. They're not interested in camera, probably they're not interested in buying a camera with a lens, because they probably have some lenses, or they have a separate budget for that. In any case, this budget is probably limited between $650 to $1,500. So that gives us some range to work with. And considering these characteristics, I made a list pretty much like the previous video, with the main manufacturers and then their models. Let's start with Canon. Canon has two models that fit the bill, the 80D and the 77D. The 80D shoots at 7 frames per second versus 6 from the 77D. Both have great focusing systems from Canon, the hybrid autofocus systems. And a bit of a difference here is that, well, the 80D has a more rugged body based in magnesium alloy and plastics. However, the 77D has more of an aluminum and plastics body. And how many shots can you make with one charge in each camera is a bit different. The 80D shoots 1,390 images versus 820 from the 77D. Let's talk about Nikon. Nikon has two cameras that fit within the budget constraints, and both are great actually. The D7500 versus the D750. One is APS-C, the other, the D750, is a full frame camera. So different. Yeah, we have a major difference between those. The D7500 shoots at has 20 megapixel sensor, shoots at 8 frames per second, but it produces and it can shoot video in 4K. However, the D750 has a full frame sensor, shoots at 24 megapixels, which are more, shoots slightly slower at 6 frames per second, and can shoot video only at full HD. Not 4K. However, well, if your video is not a major constraint for you, well, either way works. In terms of the lens lineup, well, it's Nikon and Canon, of course, have great lens lineups, but Nikon in particular, we do have constraints here. The D7500 can shoot with almost any lens in the Nikon lineup. However, the D750 is not compatible with DX lenses. So keep that in mind. Let's talk about Sony. Sony has two models that fit the bill, and these are also great. The A6500 or the A7 Mark II. Both we have another situation with APS-C versus full frame. The A6500 is APS-C, the A7 Mark II is full frame. Both should have 24 megapixel sensors. Both use the E-mount, so they are, you could say they are both compatible with any E-mount lens. However, the A7 II requires the full frame versions, or you will have a bit of a circle image. Both, since they are mirrorless, they share the same constraint or weakness with Fujifilm. They cannot shoot a lot of images. Their batteries are small, and they can shoot 310 images from the A6500 versus 350 images per charge from the A7 Mark II. Both, but in essence, they are very, very similar in terms of their specs. However, the main differences are, of course, in price. The A6500 is less expensive, but also the form factor. The A7 Mark II is very similar to an SLR. It has a viewfinder, things like that. However, the A6500 is more like a rangefinder. It has a viewfinder on a corner, things like that. So let's talk about the next brand, which is Fujifilm. Fujifilm has two very interesting cameras in their mid-range in the mid portion of their camera range, which are the X-E3 and the X-T20. Their specs are pretty much the same. They're very, very similar. Both are 24 megapixel sensors. Both shoot at 8 frames per second. Both can shoot 4K video. And both shoot 350 images per battery charge. So the main difference for you is going to be in terms of price, which is also very similar. But for the form factor, the X-E3 is similar to a rangefinder camera versus the X-T20, which looks more like a really small SLR. And in the final category that we have is the Micro Four Thirds system that I mentioned in the previous video. We do have two main manufacturers in this system, Panasonic and Olympus. From Panasonic, the camera that I found the most capable and the one that would be a great upgrade is the GX8. On Olympus, and I would choose the OMD EM5, which both cameras shoot at 20 megapixels. Both are very similar in terms of their specifications, and even they are very similar to other cameras in their own lineup. For example, the Olympus Pen F is also very similar. But I chose these two mostly because they are their most recent models in their lineups, so they will be under service for the longest time. There's one characteristic from the Olympus that I really liked, is that it has a high resolution shoot mode, which shifts the sensor a bit. So in terms of shooting with the 20 megapixels, you can create 40 megapixel images, which is a feature that is very interesting to me. In any case, these are the cameras that I wanted to recommend if you are somebody who's already getting paid a bit, and so you want a bit more of a more capable cameras, more capable or more rugged camera body. And well, these are great options, but as mentioned before, I think the best you can do is to try and get some of these cameras in your hands, play with them for a short while, and then make a decision to purchase. And I really hope this list helps. And if so, you can like the video. If you think I missed something or want to or have a different option in one of the brands that I chose, leave a comment. Subscribe to this channel so you never miss a new video. Of course, you can visit my website where you can learn a lot more. And if you prefer to read instead of watching videos, you can subscribe to my newsletter in my website, imageweekly.com. And of course, keep learning and keep shooting. See ya.